we are asking it, what does it mean to start right? We are saying to start right means to ensure that the right principles are followed in establishing your business. There's a need for us to have the right principles in starting our business endeavor. Let me stress the point that from the beginning, you may not really have all the things that you need to start a business or to start an enterprise, but there are some key ones that you cannot do, without. For instance, the attitude you need as an entrepreneur. It is so important that you need to start with the right attitude. Then you can think of the knowledge and understanding that you need to have, the resources in terms of your equipment and what have you. So starting right means getting yourself ready. And to answer the question, when can I be ready to start a business? The time is now to start as an entrepreneur, particularly for those of us who have been working for some time now, or those of us who have a little bit of experience. Once you can see you have a skill in something, you have a passion in something, just start. And over time, learn to polish up. So by definition, we are going to look at our two main areas of focus. We are looking at the SME sector, which stands for the small or medium scale enterprise. There's even the micro in addition, which makes it micro, small, and medium size enterprise. And from where we come from, I think largely our discussion is going to be based on Ghana, and then we may extend it to Africa where necessary. SMEs are the backbone of the Ghanaian economy, which represents about 85% of businesses, largely within the private sector. And we know this for a fact, contribute to about 70% of Ghana's GDP. And I'm sure by now, with the new statistics, it should be a bit higher. But the fundamental point to take note is, if you have an SME at the moment, the point is so important that if you have an SME, then of course you need to know what to do to grow. Becoming a large corporation is very important. It's very necessary. But how do you sojourn from one point of, your startup in order to get to that big corporation that you may dream of? So various areas you can consider, for your startup business. We'll be combining the two, both SMB and a startup. So there are points that we'll talk on, which would dwell on SMBs. The other point that would dwell on startups. So together, we can achieve the objective of the seminar, because the two are not the same. Startup means you now want to start, or you already started, but you are at a small level. But you can have an SME that is a bit big. It's already running for years. So you can look at the areas like healthcare. You can look at areas like technology. You can look at areas like construction, which I believe most of you are already, in these areas. The retail sector is one, and then also we can look at it. For some reason, we have let go of that industry or sector, and it looks more like it's not creative enough. Then we have the manufacturing. For those of you who have the talent and the ability to produce, put raw materials together and turn them into a finished product. There are others who are also into imports and exports. We have the education sector, and lastly, to talk about the agriculture sector. If you look at all these sectors, or all these areas that we have just pointed out from them, and I always link opportunities to, to problems. And Africa has over, if not a billion problems, I think, if not a million, I think over a billion. And to think of we having this much problems and very little in terms of product development, in terms of initiatives, in terms of innovation, to talk about on the continent, really saddens my heart. If you look at developed economies, the likes of Japan, the likes of China, America, and what have you, they all started as startups and SMEs. Most of these giants we talk about started from garages, started from, their cars, their vehicles, and today they are big. So, participants, I'll really ask of you to really pay close attention to what we are doing today and make sure you get something to work with. Then, to look at the definition of a startup, basically the action or process of setting an idea in motion. It starts from your mind, and then eventually you have to get of what idea. Reasons for startup, which also brings to mind the question of the big why. Why do you want to have your own company? Why do you have the company you have now? Why the SME? And we are saying, first of all, it could be because of a niche. That is an opportunity, a targeted area or market that you want to serve so well. And if by the time you are done with these reasons, we will then compare the reasons to challenges that we see in the country and on the continent. And you realize that if we have 100 participants by now, all of us should be able to start a business, because there are thousands of problems. There are thousands of opportunities out there for us. The second reason to look at is to serve the underserved market. Example, unreliable internet access. You can also look at lack of quality for products and services. Basically, almost everything in the country is substandard. Almost everything we have as a product largely is what substandard. And that, for an entrepreneur, is a business opportunity. That, for a startup person, is a business opportunity. The reason also could be a huge demand, that there's a demand for something. For the accountants who are with us here, look, I must say, if you can pay a visit to the banks in a day or two to look at people who go to the banks to, ask for loans and what have you, you realize how much business you have to do with the banks. Because most people walk to the bank for a loan and they don't have what it takes to access that facility. A majority of the things that these people need is linked up to the accountancy job or to an accountant. They need to prepare documents. They need to prepare financials. They need to package themselves. Who does all of that for them? It should be the accountant. So why would you be an accountant and for 24/7 you are always in your office, no matter how busy you are? I'm not sure with this very scenario I'm painting here, you can say there's more work in your office than in this. If you have to take 5 banks to carry out a survey, you realize that there's more money for you to make from the banks even than in your office. So it is important for any accountant here on the platform to have the understanding that, look, I can work here and have my own firm running for me. And we'll come to how to run your firm whilst maybe busy with another engagement. The big why could also be a problem that needs urgent attention. It could be a lack of quality customer service challenge that we have. It could be an emerging market, trend, a developing market, Ghana, Nigeria, and all of that. We are now catching up with the developed world. We are now catching up with most of the things that are already in existence. Electricity supply here is constant. In developed countries, it's always there. I've been here for some time now. I have never had any light off to even think about there's light off here. No. But if you go to Nigeria, I'm sure within the day, we have about 2-3 hours power outage. If you are in Ghana, same way, we have 2-3 hours power outage. This should be a big why for an entrepreneur listening to me right now. Why do I need to go into my own business? You can also look at substandard goods. I think I talked about that already. A big why to start up or to start your own enterprise or business could also be that you have a passion or you've over time developed a talent that can be marketed and scaled up. So somebody can sing. Yeah, of course. It's a reason for you to start your own company. Somebody can draw. You can carve an image from wood, from stone, from to what? Start a company. Whatever skill that you have and you are able to polish over time should lead you to starting a business, because somebody out there may need that service. Somebody out there may need that product. All right. So focusing on startups, we are saying they need to fully understand what you want to do. It's very important if you want to start a company, or if already you are having a company, you must have a unique selling proposition. Exactly what are you offering in the market? Exactly what are the benefits or products that people are going to enjoy from your business? And importantly, you need to conduct a detailed market research. Some of these things that we talk about is not necessarily carrying pen and paper and going around to have a research done. Some could even be by mere observation. Of course, you need to be able to turn that observation if you want to go to the next level. Turn your observation into data and then analyzing that data. It's always the best to do. But if you are unable to do that, just observe things around you. Go to people and then engage with them. Ask them one or two questions. Find out what are their challenges. Find out what is it that they really wish for. So I was talking to someone who happens to be a close person, and we're looking at the area. Is there a challenge in the area with regards to network? And the person said yes. I'm like, so what are you doing about it? If you have a whole area, let's say your environment, like your community, and the network is not so good, you don't think it's a business for you. Why allow all the residents in that vicinity fall on MTN, Airtel, Tigo for their reliable internet, access? It's a business. You can call MTN to come and mount a special router for you, and you can sell your network to that area. If the network is bad, it's because there's no attention on that particular area, because network is good in Accra, most parts in Accra. When you go to East Legon, the network runs very fast. So if in your area there's no network or it's not stable, it is a business opportunity for someone like me and someone like you. There are gadgets or equipment, they will just come and mount, and it will enhance the quality of the network. And you begin to sell that network to them. If you want to use, you pay. You put password on it, they access it, you make your money. But how many of us are thinking of this? Anyway, this is a free advice. Can I have a hello from, I feel like I'm the only person talking. Let me say hello before it happens to be the case. Can anybody say hello to me and whether we are making progress?
Hello.
Okay, wonderful. So are we making progress? Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you so much. We invite more people. And secondly, let me make this quick announcement. In between, just in case your network goes off or for any reason we go off, I would ask that you reconnect again and you get us again. So no worries about losing out. Is it clear, please?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so as we move on, let's look at, now that we have established the big whys as to starting your business and what should guide you in doing that, let us look at some of the things that you need to consider, the things to do. So if you have money, go for, how should I put this? Because not everything is money, but if you have access to funds, get professionals who can help you start right. Because you need a business plan in the first place. And while we talk of a business plan, most people don't really, for most people, they think business plan is for the book long people. No. Let me reduce the whole concept of a business plan to you. So everything from your dream, everything from your mind and the idea you have, how you want to progress from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, how you want to talk to this customer to win this customer, how you want to buy this machine, how you want to go to this place and look for an office to rent. That is what we talk about as business plan. It is a plan you want to work with. How many people within the first 3 months you want to serve? How many people within the first 1 year you want to serve? Along the way, as to begin to get 1, 2, 3 clients, what differently do you want to do in the next 3 months after that? If you are able to convince me to come for your product by serving me for 3 months, what new thing would you want to introduce to me as your customer? Every concept, the growth strategies, everything the business needs to, fall on, hinder on, is what we are describing as a business plan. So it is not a big book sitting somewhere and the business is sitting somewhere and the two, you are running to different things. The business plan is also, gathering dust. No. All right. So a good business plan can be used to source for funds. So to talk about the power of a business plan, one is to help you to raise capital for your business, because don't forget, what we are talking about here is not a mushroom company. The fact that we have micro businesses does not mean that it is a one-man show. No. We are looking at Africa business giants, becoming a giant in Africa. And it is not every time that you must start a business with your own money. No, you can sell your idea, to make money from the beginning. There are companies that have raised over $1 million from the first year of their business. If your idea is good, you can raise capital with that idea. And we'll be looking at all of this, components of a successful business, how to raise capital. One of our seminars, I think we have a flyer, going around on social media, talking about how to raise capital for your business. So we'll look at all of those things. And our second speaker would also be taking us through some aspect of, sourcing for funds. So just stay put. You get it. So it helps you to raise capital. Now, how do you fund your business? One is you can look at, let me break it down from the beginning. The very people you deal with on day-to-day basis, your family. If you have an idea, if you are passionate about any business endeavor or venture, and your own family do not believe in you, then I wonder what kind of family is that? So by having one person to believe in you, you get support from that person or from, those people who are around you. So you can raise money from your family. There is a guy who have really raised this huge company now in Ghana. He deals in charcoal. He was featured on one of these YouTube channels. And if you listen to his story, most of the things that he got in raising, like starting the business, all came largely from family. So let's talk to our families. You can also raise capital from friends and from relatives. So that is one way of raising capital. Then you can talk of angel investors, you can talk of venture capitalists, and those of us who are here helping to raise capital from all angles, from the banks, from whoever would want to believe in your idea and help you to, There's also one important thing which we normally forget, which is the fact that we can launch a fund if the idea has a social benefit. So if you have an idea which, dwells on social benefits, community benefits, you can raise the fund for that, because ultimately you are not. We are also looking at successful people in our vicinity, churches, country, and sell the idea to them. We're willing to partner others if necessary. So all of these people are there. Once there is a gathering and you are part of that gathering, it is an opportunity for you to make, to make money. So we realize that so why can't you also sell your idea to people in the church so you can make money from them? In your community, people go to grocery, stores to get items. Why can't you also sell your item just like a product to anybody, a big man around? And also you can register as an NGO and source for funds. So there are so many things. Today, just to give a brush of how you can do some of these things. Later, we'll look at the details, and then if you want to engage with us, some more. We are always available. Our contact details will be made available after the presentation. So you have looked at how to raise capital. You have considered how to, the knowledge you need and all of that. Now, there's something that is always missing in our business conversation, which is the marketing mix. And I'll start from the beginning to tell you that if you talk of marketing, it is not even about to remember as a startup. And that the marketing even starts before the product is made. Starts before you even make your first product or design your first service. It starts from the idea stage. Having said that, let me move on to the marketing mix. So every business is neither a product-oriented or service-oriented. And by saying that, it's either you are offering us a service, which likely talks about the benefit we can get from that which you are giving us, or a product, which is more of a tangible thing. I can feel it, I can touch it, I can use it, I can smell it. That is more of a product. The marketing mix, we have about 4 for product, and we have 7 in all for services. So those of you who have product that you are selling, I think it's important to understand the 4, what comes with the 4. And if your business is more of a service, like an accountant on the platform here, like a doctor on the platform here, like a nurse who wants to run the nursing home, or whatever service that it is that you're offering, you need to understand what the marketing mix is all about. So let's look at the first one, which is about product. So in talking about the product as a startup, if you want to start a product manufacturing or whatsoever, you need to know that the product should have the quality that it deserves and also the quantity. If your product lacks quality, at the same time you don't have, or you have the quality, but you don't have the product in quantity to supply, when you finish making the noise and people are coming, you now start to give an excuse. And that will kill your business again. So if you want to go out on as an already as be all as you must have you experienced a situation where people make noise about a product or a service and you go to them, you have to join a long queue before you can access that service? It is very wrong. So we come from a place where if it's a watches seller, you have a good moments on me. So you have a watches seller whose watch is so good. And for so long a time, at every time you want to go buy watch, you are thinking of the queue you have to go and join. I don't know how many of you have experienced that frustration before. The watch is nice, but in terms of quantity, so you can be served early, the quantity is missing. So you have to go join a queue for 20 hours just to buy watch. It is well. So the product should have the quantity and also the quality. That is the first one. The price, of course, we can't talk any further on this. The price should be moderate so many people can buy. There's always this comparison between Ghana businesses and Nigeria businesses, and that Nigerians don't really love so much profit. They always beat down their profit. Even if it is 1 peso, they will go for it, and they sell more than the Ghanaian businesses. Add-ons to your product just so you can make a lot with one product. If you can beat down the price moderately so you can sell more, the product should run. It is how fast the product runs that determines, how much money you're going to make. Because there's people who only buy 1, 2 in a day. Whereas if you can beat down the price, you can get 100 buyers in a day, which will equate to that high price. So it's something that you have to consider. Then the promotion, which is normally missing. So here you are, you have a good business, you have a good startup, but you don't know how to make noise about it. At the moment, we have 12 participants. If not for the fact that I just want to continue with this seminar, I can say let's stop this program for now and use the next 5 minutes to invite other people. If there are 12 and you can promote this seminar right now, our number will end, will multiply by 2, which will make it 24. I'm just citing this example so you understand that there's no point having a business and not knowing how to promote the business. Make time to make noise about your product. Make time to make noise about your service. We have people always forget we have been making noise close to a month now on this seminar. But at the moment, we only have 12 people. We've been on social media everywhere. If you don't learn to shout about the good that you have, nobody will get to know of it. It's just like you say, Yari for Anthony in the area on your way. Does not sell itself, if it's unless it is a strategy you look at where they only focus on the speakers, brands that they don't come on here to make noise. You go to look for them. Also know our promotion strategy, the place. So all these 4 I've talked about: the product, the price, the promotion, and then the place. These are all looking at the product itself, the tangible thing that you are selling. The place, which looks at how convenient people can come to you and buy from you. So if you have a product and it's not very convenient for people to get, you are going to lose out eventually. Then if you fall in the line of a service, you must understand that service, you need to understand the process by which you can deliver your service to frustrated. You are leaving the bank and you are so frustrated because somebody just like for you to sign a signature. So with the service, it's more about people oriented. It's basically about how much you care. If you want to be a service oriented organization, you don't really have the heart, of care for caring for others. It's a bit difficult. Service also looks at the physical evidence. So you have a service just like we have a service. And there's nothing that talks about where to get. Of course, you don't have a website, you don't have any flyer fly anywhere, you don't have any business card that talks about you. No, that is very wrong. So that must be looked at. Let me begin to run now. Now, we are saying facts to remember as a startup. I think there's a need for you to understand that you are only in business to serve the needs and wants of people. Once you have identified their needs, it's good. It's a bit very necessary. You are able to meet that, and that is starting a business concept. Is selling is part of it. So to say I'm marketing my product, it's not just about selling your product to people. Marketing is not selling. It starts from the conceptualization of the idea from the mind and how that product will meet the needs and wants of people. So we need to really understand that. And the marketing continues even after the product sale, even after the person uses the product or has consumed the product, it still continues. Because it is the combination of all of this understanding that will keep you in business. Anything less, trust me, over time you'll be out of business. So I always talk of people who say, well, no, I was car before. This person was very rich before. So what happened? Was it that something drastically happened that he couldn't take over in a charge of? You understand? If you can understand some of these things, there are things that come to disrupt. We are not talking about that. We're talking about the basics that we have seen over time in our country, where businesses are doing so well. And for not competitor coming into market to, that you are not taking care of your people very well. Marketing continues after product sale, use or consumption or consumed. Now let's look at the characteristics of services. If you are someone in the service business, you need to understand and know what a service is. So briefly define service for you. I would say service is the activity that gives me benefit from you. So you teach me. Do I enjoy the teaching? Yes. We are having this seminar. Are you enjoying what I'm teaching or what I'm presenting? If it is yes, and you can feel the benefit, that is service that I've rendered to you. I charge based on the benefit that you get from me. You understand? And the service is very much intangible. You don't see it, you don't feel it, you don't smell it. You are an IT expert and you provide IT services for people. Whatever you do cannot be separated from you, the human being. So it is your skill that gives a good service or a bad service. So I think we need to take note, meaning that we need to enhance our skills almost every time if you are in a service business. There's an aspect that talks of heterogeneity where it is difficult to have human beings behave the same way. So let's say today you go to the bank and the teller was all nice, smiling to you. There's no certainty that by tomorrow if you go there, that same teller will be smiling to you. So it is a two-way affair to you, the customer, and to the service provider. And you must be conscious of this act that, of course, there will be mood swings, but you don't need to allow that to affect the business. Then service is perishable, which is very important to me. I just want to dwell on this just a minute or two. Services cannot be stored and therefore are perishable. So make the most of your time, skill, and energy. If you're an accountant, example again, and you know how to produce financial statements and what have you, and you are sitting down with it in your office, and year one is gone, year two is gone, know that whatever skill you have is, you are perishing it. You cannot store it to sell. If you're a teacher, and with all of this social media hype, YouTube, Instagram, you cannot buy a camera, sit down in your house, record lectures, and get a YouTube channel. You are losing out. Because whatever you have, over time as you age, you are not storing it to make profit out of it tomorrow. If you are a consultant like me, and you just talk in the air, you are wasting your energy. If you are a preacher, and you just preach, you are wasting your energy. How do you... The understanding that what you are doing, if it's a service, it is perishable, you cannot store it. So you must look for how to make money continuously out of that. So it's very important. Let's take note. And you cannot own the service. So these are some of the characteristics of a service. Once you buy it, it is not yours. Over time, you own a product after purchasing it, but you cannot own a service, though you have paid for it. So that understanding is there. Significant attitudes. Let me quickly mention these things. The fact that you need to be innovative at all times. The difference I have seen so far between the developed world and the developing world is the fact that the developed world has been innovative for so long. Another aspect you can consider as a businessman listening to me is the fact that if you have decided to be a businessman, the only bag you can carry along forever is the bag of innovation. It takes innovation for things to happen. It takes innovation and invention, for you to what? Be sustainable. And that whatever you are enjoying today, somebody else will come tomorrow and will still enjoy the same service or product from you. So you must have the attitude that at all times I must innovate. We are where we are because we do the same thing for so long. You have an organization, and the procedure or the system they have, forever it is the same. You are using what do you call it? You are using notebook as your register, and sorry about that. So what I was saying is, By being innovative, yeah, I was citing an example where you use notebook for a register. So people, instead of coming to work at 8, they can come at 9, they still write 8 o'clock. If that continues for 1 year, you are not doing anything about it, you are not being innovative. And that will eventually lead you to unproductivity. Be adventurous as an entrepreneur, willing to take risks or try out new methods, ideas, and what? Experiences. Be active and proactive with your selling and marketing. So having said all the things I've talked about, these attitudes, we are talking about now must come along with all the other skills that you have. You must be, the whole journey of having your business should be an active one, not a passive one. Not something that you forget that you are a businessman and you carry you carry the business clothes on as and when needed. No. Big corporations have that realization all the time that we are in business to succeed. We are in business because we want to make profit. So they don't sleep. They put in systems that allow the business to run. Even in their sleep, the business is still running. I was telling my team yesterday that, look, Onas will be a company of systems and structures that even when we are sleeping, the company will still be running. So whatever it will take us, be it lateness, be it laziness, be it that we don't respect time, no. All those things will be taken care of by a system where you have no choice than to comply. And I urge all of us as businesses to take note of this very point. If you want to have a lasting venture or enterprise or company, sacrifice to learn about systems, sacrifice to learn about structures. There was an article I wrote, I think it was the early part of this year, where I said, structures will give us a system. So let your individual structures marry themselves. So eventually when you press on something, there's a flow, there's a communication flow. Things marry, the systems, structures marry themselves, and then you get the output that you are looking for. To grow fast, seek for industry or market information at all times. And this will come from not necessarily going to school like some of us have sacrificed to do. Attend seminars, attend workshops. I wrote something here, if you can read. I'm saying, be more religious with your growth, your growth desire, that is in search of information and knowledge. The way we go to church on every Sunday or the mosque or whatever religious body we belong to, that at all times we are engaging and participating. If you can grow yourself, if you can sacrifice yourself to be that religious in your business endeavor, seeking for knowledge, attending seminars. What do you do at seminars, or what do you get at seminars? You meet people. You get to learn new things. If there's any new innovation, any new idea, any establishment, anything that, market information, largely, it depends on what kind of seminar you are going to. You get those benefits from there. I will not talk about this. I will just, I won't talk into details. I'll just talk briefly about it. The difference between growth and, scaling up. And the fact that if you are starting today, eventually you are going to grow. But sometimes, I think for most businesses in Africa, we don't understand what it means by scaling up. There are some you see growth, but you don't see scale up. Scale up means using less resources just to getting more customers. It doesn't come with a lot of cost. So for instance, what I'm saying for a teacher, I'm using these basic examples and then try to link it up to your own experience, because I don't know all of you unless we ask, and then we can really identify ourselves by what we do, so we can address specific issues that are industry related or segment related. If you're a teacher and you can afford, or you're a lecturer, you can afford to record your lectures or whatever you teach. And instead of having to talk to 10 people in the classroom, you can stream it and have about 100 people joining you. That is scaling up your business. You are not spending much to achieve, maximum output. Just a little is giving you more. Scaling up means adding significant client growth as well as revenue growth without necessarily adding on to the cost or incurring significant costs. Growth is just normal addition, you are adding on. Whereas scaling up is what? Multiplication. And that is what people do in the West. They scale up. So a company starts from year 1 and the company is with about 1 million. And before they get to year 5, they are talking about billions. And we sit back in our homes and talk about them, use them as examples. Look at this man, Elon Musk, he's really making it too. What did the person do to scale up to that level? Onas Consult is how old? I think we started around 2019, and now it's 2021. If we want to become what we have set before us, that is to become a consulting company, an international consulting organization, you cannot be crawling and call that growth. We need to learn to multiply. And that is what we need to learn to scale up. So as a business, look for how to scale up. It is not a crime not knowing the things you are talking about. But it is a crime if you sit down upon hearing all of this advice and not doing anything about the advice or the suggestions you are giving. We say whatever you don't know, it is no crime for you not to know, but ask so you get to know what to do differently. If you cannot do it yourself, outsource for somebody to guide you through. And on this note, let me also make this very strong point that one of the differences we have seen between businesses in the West and that of the Africa is the fact that majority of businesses here in developed countries is the fact that if the business realizes that they lack something, they call for consultants to come in and give them the advice that they are looking for. Whereas from where we come from, if a business is struggling, they struggle all alone. It is more so like it is a crime to sell your challenge. If Onas Consult is, let's say, let me use another company like Easy Logistics or Nedit Hotel Supplies. If for any reason you've gotten to a point where you don't know what next to do, I think that is the right point. Or even if you are growing, but you feel you can grow much bigger than whatever level you've gotten to, I think it's a good reason for you to look for a consultant who can tell you A, B, C, D. Look, from selling your idea to raising money to establishing your company, if only you can learn to consult the right people, you are good to go. I know of companies in Ghana that help companies, they are companies, of course, that is their job, and they help other companies to raise money to become whatever they want to become. So important things SMEs must do. One, we are encouraging that you build a solid company culture. If you're an SME, you're a startup, and you don't have a culture to boast of, you don't have a way things are done in your organization. You're not saying just anyhow. There should be a way that when I enter into your organization within the first week, I should know this is what you stand for. And that largely comes from your values that you have. As owners, we respect time. We value results, no excuses. No matter how much the thing looks impossible, we try to surmount it by getting the result. Because we grow by results. We don't grow by excuses. So eventually, the values we are talking about become the culture of the company. So if we employ you today, you need to fit in, or what? You'll be out in no time. Sell out clearly your company values, just like I've already talked about. Establish a solid functional and organizational structure, which is very important. There are structures that must come along right from day one of the business. You can't tell me you're a business and you don't have anybody taking records of your expense and your inflows. That is an accountant. You don't have anybody doing marketing for you. Then why are you in business? You have a product, you have a service, and you're selling. And it's all about you and your store, you and your office. Nobody goes out there to sell you. How do you make money? I have a system and processes that will give optimal results and output. So streamline the things that you do and go for ways that will give you the kind of output and result that you so much desire for. We are saying that if you want to succeed, keep up with current industry trends. The world is changing. Things are always happening faster and quicker than we can imagine. Don't be in your closet. Don't be in your office. Be out there and get to understand where the industry that you find yourself in, where is it going? What are the products that are selling now in your industry? How are people doing things in your industry? How is the competition like? So understand the industry trend and understand your customer needs. If we can have one or two people to just share their views on what has happened so far. We are done with the whole business development side. I think we just want to move on to the client management side now. So just a minute or two so we look at how far it's going. Any comments?
Thanks so much for this opportunity. In my view, it's going well, and I pray all participants on this session are taking keenly all the tips and points you are giving out, and also urge them to do well to put these things into practice. Just as we say in Ghana, we have the professors, we have the research works on the shelves, but how to implement them? So let me challenge all entrepreneurs, all businesses on this platform to do to put this things into practice. That is the most important thing, so that the efforts that are being put out, I mean, for now it's free. Let's not think because it's free, so we'll not make good use of it. Let's make good use of it and then come back with the testimonies later. So in my view, it's going well, and I'll urge you to continue. I hope the next speaker also take it further just to achieve the goals and objectives of this meeting. Thanks so much.
So just 5 minutes on my client management. So we're saying client management involves the managing, overseeing, and handling, as well as the coordination actually of relationship. Looking at the interactions you have between the organization and the people that you serve, that is your customers and potential customers. And the one important thing to take note is the fact that client management is a process. I think basically everything we are talking about is a process. You begin from a point, you gradually move on to the next phase. And in between, there's always what to do. So that is how to manage your customers. A lot of the time, you need to just pick feedback from them and then work on the feedbacks as you progress. And then differences between clients and customers. Don't forget, a client is never the same as a customer. A client is somebody who really knows you and is with you. You have served the person, you have really worked hard on the person or the company. You know, the company believes in you. You owe them things like integrity, confidentiality, loyalty, and hard work. They just don't buy once from you and they are gone. A client is somebody who works with you for long. You know, they know you for you. A customer can be one-off. He buys today, tomorrow he's not there. So you realize we've put the customer equals payment, whereas client equals what? Relationship. So you build a relationship with a client, whereas customer is about just the money. So you do a little with customer just so they buy from you. You announce in no time. They get convinced about the product. Well, let me buy and go and see how it works. If it's not good, they don't come back again. But a client is somebody who has tried the product and is so much okay with the product and has stayed on for so long. Again, we are saying important things to note. Customers are humans with feelings. And like people will say, this is business. No, by business, your customers are human beings. They are just not there for business. If you don't treat them well, their feelings will escalate and they will not come back. Customers are to be handled, treated with love and respect. Customers want their needs and wants met. If you are not there to do this, you can't have a customer come back. We're talking about how to manage your customer, you understand? And these are some of the points that you have to note in managing your customers. There shouldn't be a time where you have ever forgotten that it is all about the customer. We'll go into details. These are just on the surface, but we have detailed ways, of doing, customer and client management. Because sometimes you meet difficult ones, very, very difficult ones. For no fault of yours, they have issues with you. And some of these issues are not necessarily from your end. It's maybe from the outside, be it the wife, the husband, or whatsoever. Clients are happy when served well, which is very true. These things we are saying, to a large extent, we already know them. But are we practicing them? That is a challenge. Are we conscious of our client management, relationship, how we manage our clients? the need to really stay put and place the customer first. And placing the customer first is what we call customer-centric, a strategy that requires putting your customer first and at the core of the business, so to provide positive experience and long-term relationship. So it's very, very important. We know that client management requires a strategy. Just like any other thing in your company, you should have a strategy. You need to have a strategy for your clients, how to manage your clients. There are companies that tell you, we believe in after-sales service. So no matter the amount you buy from them, they still call you back to ask, how was our service today? Just by that call alone, you're already in love with the company. Remember that happy customers will always buy from you. They will always come back, which is the truth. If you don't treat them well, they don't come back. So have a strategy, management strategy that is working for you, very much for you. At the end of this seminar, that's what we are going to do for all participants. You understand? If you can go to the chat and just leave your number, at the chat, we'll follow up with you later. And here we are saying ways to implement client management. So one of the things you need to do is to spend time to know your clients better. Know their needs. Don't just sell your product to anybody. Know the needs of the client. What is the benefit the client is going to get from your product? You're selling a body cream. You're selling a phone. You're selling what? Let's talk about some of the serious things. You are a hospital. You are into agri products, fertilizer, whatsoever. And you don't know the needs of the people you want to serve, then of course you can manage them well. Have periodic questionnaires that helps you to assess your client relationship. Then spend quality time with your client. Take them out, have dinner with them if possible, have lunch with them if possible. Invite them out for what? Breakfast, if you can. You understand? Because there are some clients you shouldn't lose. You need to nurture the relationship like a baby and a mother. Run promotions periodically. These are all ways of managing your clients. You have a firm, you have a product, you have a service, and every time it's the same price. There's nothing new coming your way in terms of product. What's the name we call this? Promotion. There's never a promotion of whatever sort. Buy one, get one free. You get this. No. Have a system or a technology that reminds you of client buying pattern. You need to understand how they buy from you. You need to know how they are getting along with you and do follow-up. So we have to take action, learn to focus on a particular market segment, create a culture for system. We've talked about all of this already. Define key priorities within the year, set targets. A company without targets, you are just selling. Nothing is motivating you. This week we are doing 100,000 sales. How do we go about it? There's nothing like that. No, that is very wrong. Look for untapped opportunities, problems, and provide solutions to a startup, a business already in existence. Are there opportunities that are yet to be tapped, which gives you an advantage over whoever is not looking towards that direction? And we are also saying that we need to embrace business innovation to bridge the development gap because it is so huge. We travel abroad and it's like where you're coming from is a village. Because the difference in development is just like, we are all human beings. So why this much gap? It is because we, the businesses, are not really doing well. We are not innovative. We are laid back. Sorry to be this blunt, but I wish something touches you to change, the practice. We are not making progress because our development lies on us. We are the issue. If it's about the government alone, then of course we have nothing to talk about even with this seminar. We offer services to people. We offer the products to them. So participants, I really beg of us, we should really be more innovative. Constantly asking questions and engaging. What differently can we offer the market? What differently can we do? What new things can we bring on board? How do we strategize our product, our product offering, whatever it is, don't do one thing for so long a time without reconsidering different ways. And eventually, if you do that, this will lead to what? Sustainable business. A business that will live the test of time. You will enjoy it, your children will come and enjoy it, your great-grandchildren come and enjoy it, just like we see in the West. A company lasts over 100 years. And I can swear all of them, they all come to enjoy the business. That is what it takes to run a successful business, knowing what you need to do and doing them. So on this note, we say a very big thank you to all of you, and we put a full stop to the presentation at the moment. Thank you so much.